Picture this, a city skyline at dusk, all jagged edges and glowing windows like a painting I can't quite step into. I'm watching it from our apartment balcony, the cool evening air brushing against my skin. And I'm already dreading what's coming. My name's Eton. I'm 43, and I've spent the last 15 years building a life with Lila, my wife. She's 38, a force of nature, all wild energy and magnetic charm. When she laughs, it's like the whole world turns to listen, and she's always dressed to steal the spotlight. Think shimmering sequins or leather so tight it's practically a second skin. Me? I'm the opposite. A software engineer, happiest with a book in hand or a quiet movie on the screen. My idea of a perfect night is staying in. But Lila, she thrives on the pulse of the city after dark, and I love her enough to tag along. Even if every fiber of me resists. We've got our crew for these late-night adventures. There's Mark, 40, a gym buff with a laugh that could shatter glass, always hyping up the crowd. Then there's Sarah, 35, a graphic designer who's never without her phone, snapping pics for her endless social media feed. They're good people. The kind who make Lila's world even brighter, and I can't help but feel like the odd one out. Tonight, we're heading to Neon Pulse, a downtown bar that's all thumping bass and dim. Flickering lights in shades of electric blue and hot pink. It's Lila's kind of place, where the air hums with energy and the crowd presses in close. As we step into Neon Pulse, the atmosphere hits me like a tidal wave. The floors are sticky under my shoes, a mix of spilled drinks and who knows what, clinging to every step. Strobe lights flash in sync with the pounding bass, slicing through the haze of smoke and sweat, painting the crowd in bursts of neon violet and searing crimson. The place is packed, bodies pressed tight on the dance floor, some decked out in glittering outfits that catch every flicker of light, others rocking worn jeans and faded tees, all moving as one chaotic mass. The air's thick with the scent of cheap cologne, beer, and something sharper I can't quite place. It's overwhelming. And I'm already itching to bolt. Lila, though, she's right at home. She's wearing this shimmering red dress that clings to her like a second skin, every curve catching the light as she moves. Her laughter cuts through the noise, bright and untamed, as she grabs Mark and Sarah by the hands and drags them into the sea of dancers. I watch her twirl under the lights, her energy pulling everyone around her into her orbit. She's a wildfire, burning bright, and I'm just here. I carve out my usual spot at the bar counter, the worn wood cool under my palms, and order a beer. The first sip is sharp, bitter, a small anchor in the chaos. From my perch, I keep an eye on Lila as she spins and sways, her smile wide and electric. Mark's booming laugh echoes even over the music, and Sarah's got her phone out, capturing every moment for her followers. They're in their element, and I'm the outsider looking. I come to with a jolt, my head pounding like a drum that won't quit, a dull ache spreading from my temples down to my jaw. I blink hard, trying to clear the fog, but the world tilts and spins. I'm not at the bar counter anymore. The sticky wood and bitter beer are gone, replaced by a cold, harsh grip on my arms. Two burly men, faces like stone, are dragging me down a narrow staircase. Their hands are rough, unyielding, and I can feel the strain in my shoulders as my feet stumble to keep up. The air grows colder with every step, biting at my skin, and there's a damp, musty smell like wet concrete and forgotten things clinging to every breath I take. We're descending into what I realize must be the basement of Neon Pulse, a place I didn't even know existed until now. My heart's hammering in my chest, a wild rhythm of confusion and fear, but my body won't respond. My limbs feel like lead, heavy and useless, as if something's coursing through me, dulling my edges. Have I been drugged? The thought claws at my mind, but I can't grasp it long enough to make sense of it. Ahead of me, I see her Leela. Her red dress sways with each confident step, a stark contrast to the dim, flickering light of the stairwell. She's surrounded by 12 men, all in dark clothing, their builds ranging from wiry to hulking. Faces are unreadable, shadows hiding any hint of emotion, and they move with a strange, synchronized purpose. I try to call out to her to ask what in the world is happening, but my voice is nothing more than a weak croak, barely audible over the sound of boots on concrete. She doesn't turn, doesn't even acknowledge me, and that cuts deeper than the cold air seeping into my bones. We reach the bottom, and they lead me into a large, cavernous room. The walls are bare, gray, and stained with age, and a single bulb flickers overhead, casting long, jittery shadows across the floor. They sit me down on a hard metal chair, the cold biting into my skin through my clothes. The ropes they've tied around my wrists and ankles are tight, cutting into me with every small shift, but I can barely muster the strength to care. My head lolls slightly, the fog in my mind refusing to lift as I take in the basement around me. It's a cavern of echoes, every sound amplified in the oppressive stillness. The concrete floor beneath me is uneven, scratched and scarred from years of neglect, and each footstep from the men reverberates like a drumbeat in my chest. Somewhere in the distance, there's a faint drip of water, a slow, maddening rhythm that seems to mock the chaos in my head. Between Lila's hushed exchanges with the men, the silence is suffocating, pressing down on me like a physical weight. I can't tear my eyes away from her. Leela stands in the center of the room, her red dress a vivid slash of color against the drab gray of the walls. Under the flickering light, her eyes seem to burn with something I've never seen before, fierce, almost otherworldly purpose that sends a shiver down my spine. The men, those 12 shadowy figures, approach her one by one, their movements deliberate, almost ceremonial. Each time one steps forward, he bows his head slightly, as if paying respect to something greater, before murmuring something I can't hear and retreating back into the darkness. It's hypnotic, this strange dance of reverence and shadow, and I find my initial terror morphing into something I can't quite name. Part of me wants to scream, to shatter this eerie quiet and beg for someone to untie me, to get me out of here. But another part, a quieter, more dangerous part, tease, mesmerized, caught in the surreal beauty of it all. What is this? Some kind of twisted performance? A sick prank meant to mess with my head? Or could it be something darker, something ritualistic, like a cult I've stumbled into without even realizing? My mind is a storm of questions, each one more frantic than the last, but my body betrays me. I try to move, to tug at the ropes binding me, but it's no use. The knots dig deeper into my skin, and I'm stuck, helpless, as the scene before me unfolds into something I never could have imagined. I hear the sharp click of Lila's heels on the concrete, each step deliberate, echoing in the cavernous basement like a countdown to something I can't comprehend. She approaches me, her presence overwhelming, the scent of her perfume cutting through the musty air. She leans down, her breath hot against my ear, and whispers, "Watch, Eton. This is for us." Her voice is low, laced with a dark promise that sends a shiver racing down my spine. Before I can even process what she means, she straightens up and turns away, her red dress swaying as she moves back toward the group of men waiting in the shadows. My heart slams against my ribcage as I watch her select one of them, a tall, broad-shouldered figure with a jagged scar running down his cheek. His eyes glint under the flickering bulb, cold and unfeeling, as Lila steps closer to him. What happens? Next is a gut punch, a betrayal so raw it steals the air from my lungs. Right there in front of me, she draws him into an intimate dance of sorts, her movements slow and deliberate, leaving no room for misinterpretation. It's a display meant to wound, each gesture a calculated strike against everything I thought we were. I'm frozen, my eyes locked on the scene, unable to look away, even as my mind screams for me to shut it out. Anger boils in my chest, hot and bitter, mingling with a deep, searing humiliation that burns my cheeks. But beneath it all, there's something else, a twisted, unwanted pull. A dark fascination that I can't shake, and it disgusts me almost as much as what I'm witnessing. One by one, she moves through all 12 of them, each encounter more brazen, more unapologetic than the last. The basement seems to shrink around me, the gray walls closing in as the flickering light casts grotesque shadows that twist and writhe like specters on the concrete. My pulse races, a frantic drumbeat. The morning after feels like waking up in a dream that doesn't quite fit. I'm in our bed, the familiar weight of the comforter pressing down on me. And Lila's beside me, her breathing soft and even, as if last night was just another ordinary evening. My body aches in places I didn't know could hurt, a dull throb pulsing through my limbs, and my mind is a tangled mess of images I can't shake. That basement, the cold metal chair, the ropes biting into my skin, and Lila, her red dress. Her commanding presence, the way she moved through those men with a purpose that both shattered and captivated me. I should be angry, should be storming out of bed to demand answers, but I just lie there, staring at the ceiling, letting the weight of it all settle over me like a heavy fog. I drag myself through the day in a daze, barely registering the world around me. I'm at the kitchen table now, a cup of coffee gone cold in front of me, the bitter scent mixing with the lingering unease in my chest. My hands wrap around the mug, but I don't drink, just stare into the dark liquid like it might hold some kind of explanation. My thoughts keep circling back to that cavernous room beneath neon pulse, replaying every moment in excruciating detail. The way Lila orchestrated it all, the raw display of control, the way I was powerless to do anything but watch as she claimed her space in a way I'd never seen before. It's a loop I can't escape, each memory sharper than the last, cutting into me with a mix of betrayal and something else, something I'm not ready to name yet. By evening, the silence between us feels like a living thing, heavy and charged. Lila's in the living room, flipping through a magazine, her casual demeanor almost infuriating. When she finally looks up, her eyes searching mine, she asks if I'm okay. Her voice is gentle, but there's an edge to it, like she already knows the answer. I open my mouth to say something, anything, but the words that come out shock even me. I tell her the truth, raw and unfiltered. I didn't forget to subscribe, like, and comment if you enjoyed this story. This will help us create more engaging stories for you.